Today's the day, everybody. Today is the big day that the Star Wars world, the Star Wars fandom has been waiting for. That is right. The Acolyte comes out tonight, and people are just clamoring at the bit to see this Star Wars is saved type of project, type of show. That is right. Everybody is clamoring at the bit. But I tell you what, things aren't looking so good. As I've been saying for quite some time, for over a year now, things are not looking good for Star Wars. As we see the first really article to drop. Now, here's the crazy thing. Reviews have not come out until early this morning for this show. That is right. Reviews only dropped this morning, 9 hours before the show is even released, which does not bode well for this project, for this show. Think about it. Typically, when a show or a movie is coming out, you want reviews to get out there so people can get amped up and get hyped for what is coming out. You want them out there. You want people to talk about it. You want the hype out there. But not with this, no. The show is due to release at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. And the reviews dropped around 11 a.m. Eastern Time. 9 hours before the show drops. That tells us that they're trying to hide something, that it is not a good show. And Rolling Stone was the first one to drop their review. And as you can see here, the headline was "The Acolyte. This Star Wars prequel series isn't a force to be reckoned with. Even a veteran Jedi Master would lose patience with the latest Disney Plus addition to the canon, with focus on a pair of twins, revenge, and..." And the funny thing is shortly after it came up, Nerdrotic shared this, this headline, and he threw it up on Twitter. And I was like, oh boy, I got to go check this out. And you want to see what I got? That's what I got. That is what I got, as did thousands of people who tried to go and check out this article to see exactly what it read. And that is what we all got. So either Rolling Stone's website was down or Disney forced them to take the article down, which was more likely. But no, honestly, when you think about it logically, probably they put the article up just a tad bit too early, which is even more damning and damaging to the brand when you start to think about it, because they didn't want it out even that early, even 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour earlier, because they know what they have is not good. That is so disappointing, so disappointing. But when you take a look at what they said in that Rolling Stone article, one of the lines that I have to highlight here is, they go, "Entertainment-wise, though, the first half of The Acolyte is unfortunately a lot closer to the Book of Boba Fett." Saying that the show just is so bad, it is like the Book of Boba Fett, which has been pretty much widely received and talked about as the worst series to come out in Star Wars television, the Book of Boba Fett. That's what they're saying. The Book of Boba Fett is so bad that The Acolyte is pretty much as close to the Book of Boba Fett as you're going to get. So it's that bad, people. That, come on now. And that's coming from Rolling Stone. But then, it just keeps getting worse. We see Variety. Now, Variety, they actually say, hey, Acolyte joins Andor as another Star Wars success. And you're like, okay, maybe it's not so bad, right? But the problem is, everything that you start to read, and you start to read these reviews, they're all pretty much saying the same thing. They go, there are obvious echoes of Luke and Leia in the story of twins separated as young children, which is disappointing. And, the one thing about that is we've been hearing rumors about there being twins, and Amanda Stenberg being a twin, and they're separated at birth, and supposedly there were virgin conceptions from gay witches, and I don't know. We know that this is going to be a complete mess of a show to begin with, pushing LGBT, LMNOP, agendas and what have you. So we know it's going to get ridiculous. And Darth Vader and a villain who wears a mask and speaks with a distorted voice, where we see that we already have a villain with a mask and a distorted voice. Ridiculous. They have no originality with Star Wars. It's ridiculous. But later episodes contain revelations that subvert and even threaten to upend our notions of the Jedi and binary conceptions of the Force. Just a couple weeks ago even, I talked about it on this channel. George Lucas states that Disney does not understand the Force, that Disney, when they took over Lucasfilm and they started making Star Wars, that they just don't understand Star Wars or the Force. And they're going to then release a show that subverts our expectations. Yes, keep giving the fans exactly what they don't want. The Last Jedi was divisive and pissed people off. Let's keep giving them the same type of stories. Kathy Kennedy has lost her damn mind allowing Star Wars to be mishandled like this. It is getting ridiculous if you think about it. Like, honestly, think about it. Who's asking for this? Nobody. Nobody wants to keep seeing these stories of Jedi being, the idea of Jedi being subverted. Like, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. 2 reviews, one supposedly positive with Variety and the other negative. Rolling Stone, again, Johnson's The Last Jedi goes out of the way to democratize the Force rather than treating it on something worthy only of the characters with noble bloodlines. It positions Rey as the child of nobodies, and its final scene features an orphan boy casually using the Force to grab a broom, sweeping out the stable in Canto Bight. Without having, what does it say here? Abrams or cons it, so, Rey being the granddaughter of Palpatine has zero interest in Broom Boy. Without having seen the back half of the season, it's hard to know for sure where Headland stands in this debate, but the Acolyte certain seems pro Broom Boy so far. Again, The Last Jedi was divisive. Why would we want more of that divisiveness? It makes no sense. Go back to safe. Go back to what brings the fans together. What the fans want. We don't want a deconstruction of the Jedi. We don't want that. The fans don't want that. What is Lucasfilm not understanding? Then you have The Acolyte. The $180 million Star Wars prequel is a shocking waste of time. Somehow it just keeps getting worse. Its diverse environments are generally drab, and no matter how well it blends its foreground characters and artificial background, it feels stagey and small. And I've been saying that for weeks with all of these trailers and everything. It feels so small. It doesn't feel larger than life. I've been saying that. And here we go. We're getting proof from people who have actually seen the show. That's what it is going to be. I don't understand why people think that this is funny. Like, there are people who love Star Wars, and it's disappointing. And look, it just keeps going. Like, the Acolyte review, latest live-action Star Wars is no Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's fantastic. The Acolyte veers more towards generic sci-fi set in any old galaxy far, far away, or even one relatively close nearby. It's bad. It's bad, people. How it got, what are they saying? It's like it's somehow got certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which we know Rotten Tomatoes can be paid and bought. We know that. The Acolyte, Disney's latest Star Wars dud, needs to pick up the pace. The muddled messaging made it fairly difficult to invest in any of these characters, which was compounded by the uninspired writing. Shocker. Dialogue is often dull and repetitive. Characters change their minds and occasionally their entire personalities on a whim whenever their stories call for it. And the archetypes are so familiar and played out that none of our heroes or villains feel new or different from any other live-action Star Wars show. Like, do they just not understand? This show is going to bomb. Everything here doesn't even touch on the agendas that they're pushing with this show. You add that to it. Guys, the Force is female, remember? Look at this. Every single headline, Amanda Listenberg is front and center in everything. The Force is female. And they were damn well going to push that in everything in marketing up until people didn't want that, and then they stopped pushing that. So don't forget that. And I know, all you people who are going to sit there and come at me and say, "Yeah, that's not what that was. That was for a Nike ad." Look, you can come at me all you want, but it's more prevalent and relevant now that they want to push the Force is female, especially with the conversation that they had in an article just the other day. All right? They are attacking the men. That is Star Wars. That is Lucasfilm. That is the head of Lucasfilm attacking men. It's not men attacking Star Wars at this point. They threw the first blow this month. They decided to say, look, before this show comes out, we're going to attack the men because we know that we have a crap product and we know that they're going to come after us because we threw all these women in it and we got to go on the attack before they attack us. That is ridiculous. The Force is female, everybody, don't forget. And they have a crap product coming at you right now, tonight. And sure, it's going to do numbers because it's Star Wars. It's got the Star Wars name on it. We know it's going to do numbers this week, maybe even next week. With the rumor especially that after episode 3, it's going to change the perception of Star Wars. It's going to blow people's minds, and people who are true Star Wars fans are probably going to hate it. That's the rumor. So what are they going to do? It's unfair. It's not right to Star Wars fans. This show, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say about all these bad reviews. Don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes on this. You know they can be bought and paid for. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. With all that said, I'll check you all later.